8 billion cars. That is how many Hot Wheels have been sold since 1968. That number is larger than the total production of Ford, General Motors, and Toyota combined throughout the entire history of real automobiles. Somewhere in America right now, a middle-aged man is standing in a Walmart toy aisle early in the morning, carefully flipping through Hot Wheels pegs. He is not shopping for his child. He is searching for a $1 toy car that could be worth more than $1,000. Hot Wheels is not just a toy brand. It is a global treasure hunt, and its billion-dollar empire began by challenging a monopoly so powerful that breaking it seemed impossible. In the early 1960s, the die-cast toy car market belonged entirely to one company, Matchbox. Founded in 1953 by the British company Lesney Products, Matchbox did not merely dominate the market, it defined it. Their cars were small, realistic, affordable, and widely considered educational. Parents trusted them. Teachers allowed them in classrooms. Children collected them by the handful. By the mid-1960s, Matchbox controlled nearly 100% of the American die-cast car market, selling tens of millions of units each year with virtually no competition. Several companies attempted to challenge Matchbox's dominance. Brands like Tootsie Toy, Corgi, and Dinky entered the market with their own versions of toy cars, but none of them succeeded. Matchbox was simply too established and too trusted. Their designs focused on realism, delivery vans, sedans, fire trucks, and construction vehicles modeled after real-world machines. They were accurate, sensible, and safe, but they were also uninspiring. At the same time, an American toy company named Mattel was facing a growing problem. Mattel had built enormous success with Barbie, but Barbie was marketed almost exclusively to girls. Boys represented half of the toy-buying population, and Mattel had nothing that truly appealed to them. Co-founder Elliott Handler analyzed the numbers and realized that the company was leaving an enormous amount of money on the table. Market research revealed something obvious but critical. Boys loved cars. Unfortunately, Matchbox owned that entire category. Handler, however, was not only a businessman, he was also a passionate car enthusiast who loved Southern California's custom car culture. Hot rods, low riders, exposed engines, and aggressive styling filled his personal collection. One day, he realized something that would change the toy industry forever. Matchbox was designing cars to satisfy parents, not children. What if toy cars were not realistic at all? What if they were pure fantasy? To turn that idea into reality, Elliott Handler knew he needed someone who didn't think like a traditional toy designer. The problem with toy cars in the 1960s wasn't quality or availability, it was imagination. That's when Handler found Harry Bentley Bradley, a professional automotive designer working at General Motors. Bradley wasn't designing toys, he was designing full-scale concept cars meant to preview the future of the automobile. His work was bold, futuristic, and aggressive, the complete opposite of the conservative, realistic designs dominating toy store shelves. In 1966, Mattel recruited Bradley with a simple but risky mission: create toy cars that looked unlike anything children had ever seen. Bradley immediately rejected the idea of copying real vehicles. Matchbox already did that perfectly, and competing head-on would guarantee failure. Instead, he leaned into fantasy. He exaggerated everything that made cars exciting. Bodies became longer and lower. Engines grew oversized and exposed. Wheels were wider, stances more aggressive, and proportions intentionally unrealistic. These weren't meant to look practical. They were meant to look fast, powerful, and rebellious. Bradley drew heavily from Southern California hot rod culture, where cars were expressions of identity rather than transportation. Flames, metallic paint, Custom engines and dramatic silhouettes were common in real-life car shows, but almost non-existent in toys. Bradley amplified that culture into pure imagination. When Hot Wheels launched on May 18, 1968, the brand debuted with 16 cars that would later be called the Sweet 16. These cars didn't represent what people drove, they represented what people dreamed of driving. Even sitting still, they looked fast. But design alone wasn't enough to defeat Matchbox. The real breakthrough came from engineering. Hot Wheels introduced 3 innovations that fundamentally changed how toy cars were experienced. The first was SpectraFlame paint, a translucent metallic finish that reflected light and gave the cars a jewel-like appearance. Compared to Matchbox's flat, matte colors, Hot Wheels instantly looked premium and futuristic. The second innovation was speed. Mattel engineered low-friction wheels combined with torsion bar suspension, allowing Hot Wheels cars to roll faster and smoother than anything else on the shelf. Kids didn't need instructions to notice the difference. The cars simply flew. The third innovation was the orange track system. Instead of being standalone objects, the cars became part of a larger ecosystem. Loops, jumps, and stunts transformed play into motion and competition. Importantly, despite all these upgrades, Hot Wheels matched Matchbox's price at just 59 cents. The impact was immediate and explosive. Within 1 month, 16 million cars were sold. By 1970, Hot Wheels controlled half the market. By 1973, they were #1, toppling a monopoly that had dominated for over 20 years. By the mid-1970s, Hot Wheels looked untouchable. Sales were strong, brand recognition was massive, and nearly every child in America owned at least one car. Inside Mattel, executives began to believe the brand had no limits. That confidence led to a critical miscalculation. They assumed that if children loved toy cars, they would love anything as long as it had wheels and the Hot Wheels name on it. Mattel expanded aggressively. Hot Wheels planes appeared on shelves, followed by trains, boats, motorcycles, and experimental vehicle lines that had little connection to car culture. On paper, the strategy made sense. More products meant more shelf space and more revenue streams. In reality, it diluted the brand's identity. Hot Wheels had been built around speed, fantasy, and racing. Now it was trying to be everything at once. The result was confusion. Toy aisles became cluttered with unrelated products under the same logo. Children no longer understood what Hot Wheels stood for, and parents struggled to know which items were actually part of the core brand. Without a clear identity, excitement faded. Sales began to slow, and the brand that once felt electric started to feel ordinary. Then, in 1977, the situation worsened dramatically. The release of Star Wars triggered an explosion in licensed action figures and character-based toys. The entire toy industry pivoted almost overnight. Action figures became the new gold rush, and companies raced to secure entertainment licenses. Mattel followed the trend. Resources, marketing budgets, and creative focus were pulled away from Hot Wheels and redirected toward character-driven products. Cars were no longer the priority. As attention shifted, innovation at Hot Wheels slowed. New designs became safer and less imaginative. Retailers noticed declining demand and reduced shelf space. By the early 1980s, Hot Wheels was no longer dominating toy aisles. What had once been a revolutionary brand was reduced to basic releases that lacked excitement or cultural relevance. Internally, Mattel began to question whether Hot Wheels still had a future. Some executives believed the brand had already peaked and that its success belonged to a past generation. Discontinuation was seriously considered. From a business perspective, it seemed logical to let the brand fade quietly rather than invest in a declining category. But while Mattel focused on trends and licenses, something unexpected was happening outside corporate boardrooms. The children who grew up with Hot Wheels in the late 1960s and early 1970s were becoming adults, and they hadn't forgotten the cars that once made their imaginations race. Adults who had grown up playing with Hot Wheels in the late 1960s and early 1970s began buying them again. These purchases were not for children, but for nostalgia. Former fans searched flea markets, garage sales, and swap meets for cars from their childhood. Prices began to rise. A good condition original could sell for $50, rare models for hundreds. Collector clubs formed, newsletters circulated, and conventions emerged. By the mid-1980s, Mattel noticed this growing adult market and experienced a critical realization. Hot Wheels could serve two audiences at once, children and adult collectors. In 1995, Mattel introduced the Treasure Hunt series, featuring limited production runs, special paint, and rubber tires. Collectors responded immediately. Adults lined up at stores early in the morning, searching through hundreds of cars for rare finds. In some cases, the rewards were enormous. In 2020, a collector purchased a rare Super Treasure Hunt for just over $1 and sold it online for $1,200 days later. Stories like this spread rapidly, fueling the culture of the hunt. Mattel refined its strategy into 3 tiers. The first tier consisted of affordable mainline cars sold in massive volumes. The second tier included premium models with better details and materials. The third tier offered ultra-premium limited editions aimed at serious collectors. The company also launched the Red Line Club and collaborated with real car brands, pop culture franchises, and fashion labels. By 2020, Hot Wheels generated over $1 billion in annual revenue. Hot Wheels nearly failed because it forgot its identity. When the brand tried to be everything, it lost what made it special. When it returned to its core, fantasy cars, and embraced adult collectors, it became unstoppable. This strategy appears in many industries, from Lego to sneakers to trading cards. Brands create nostalgia early, then monetize it later when their audience has disposable income. What makes Hot Wheels unique is accessibility. The treasure hunt happens in ordinary stores, not exclusive auction houses. Anyone can participate. This accessibility builds community rather than exclusion. Psychologically, the hunt is addictive. The risk is low, but the potential reward is high. That balance has allowed Hot Wheels to survive while many other toy brands disappeared. In 1968, Harry Bentley Bradley was not designing toys, he was designing fantasies. The children who played with those cars grew up. Many now collect alongside their own children and grandchildren, spanning 3 generations. Hot Wheels releases hundreds of designs every year, hosts global conventions, and appears in museums as cultural artifacts. All of it began with a 59-cent toy car that rolled a little faster than the rest. Tomorrow morning, someone will walk into a store at dawn, flip through the pegs, and hunt for treasure. Because Hot Wheels did not just sell cars, it created a hunt that never ends. This is Beyond Legacy. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden genius behind everyday brands, subscribe to the channel. Every week, we explore how ordinary ideas turn into extraordinary empires. Stay curious, and we will see you in the next story.